Did you guys see the? I think the guy who was in the coma from the football hit. He's awake now, isn't he? Like he's responsive.
How bad it was.
I thought, dude. Apparently, it was fucking bad. Like,
how weak are people? Your heart can't stop for a little bit.
Did his heart?
We're meat bags.
Because he had to. They did CPR on him for like a huge amount of time on the field, and I was seeing stuff online where people were like, everyone was like, they got him to the hospital, and I saw people commenting like, dude, CPR was performed on him for 18 minutes or whatever. He's likely brain dead. Like
it took over
it's almost positive. Over half hour. Yeah. And I saw a bunch of people being like, it's almost positive. No, no, it doesn't, Kyle.
Why not? Why doesn't it?
Like, why can't I manually breathe for him by pressing?
But I mean, they had probably an EKG.
That's what CPR does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It's what it does. It's what CPR is for.
It's to re-kick it. It's not to. If it takes that long to re-kick it,
no. I'm manually operating that motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm pumping his blood for him and breathing oxygen into his lungs. I'm doing all the work.
You're not breathing. They don't do that shit anymore. That's not.
Yes, they do.
No, that I literally watched a YouTube video where they said no. They have a different system now. Now you use a puffer. You're not supposed to use.
I won't let you stand there, sit there, and besmirch a goddamn American hero here. Woody's pulled countless human beings out of the water.
I was like, what are we talking about?
You acted like CPR is like some made up propaganda or something like that. Like seatbelts.
Taylor's on to something. They removed the breaths.
Or voting.
I don't think they removed it for 2-person CPR, and I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just saw online that like apparently if you're under CPR for that duration of time, it is very, very likely that you're brain dead. But if he is responding, then he's not brain dead, obviously. I mean,
well, check. At this point, you've lost the argument before it began.
It's the EKG, though.
Study here.
You have to think about that. They have like portable defibs and portable stuff on the field that are much more advanced than like someone who just went out.
Yeah,
like they would have like basically professional medical equipment on the field with all the trainers and stuff. So I'm sure like that. They had pretty much ambulance equipment just on the field at that point.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, and then like they wanted to keep the game going.
I'm telling you, if you hit me in the chest, I'd have been fine. I'm man that whatever his name is.
Dude, he didn't hit him that hard. Dude,
I mean, he didn't hit him that hard.
I watched it. Everybody was like, have you seen the hit? It's the hardest hit ever. And I watched it and I was like, he'd have bounced right off me.
It's real. That was what like surprised me about the hit.
I'd have laid the other guy out.
He'd have
been the one hurt.
Yeah, he'd have had a neck injury if he hit this pec.
As far as like football hits go, that was so not noticeable as a football hit. Like there's a dozen
so fucking hard, dude. I really did think he hit him. I watched the clip in slow motion and I was watching how like if you watch the stance,
it looks harder than a normal hit.
When he's like running, he's so lowered and you can just see him generating so much power and speed and he just comes to a dead stop in that man's chest. I don't know.
I thought it was the kind of hit that happens 10 times a game.
Yeah,
not a weak hit, but football
happens all the time.
The way he reacted is what was really crazy, I guess.
Well, he stood up and then he like and he talked. It looked like he talked for a couple seconds. Like he stood up and then like said something to the dude and then just.
Well, that's why I had to check and see it wasn't a head injury because that's what I assumed from the jump that like he got knocked out or like it was something to do with his head. And then you play it back and it was like, oh no, that was directly to his chest. So the only answer is that was his heart. So it did not look like a hit that.
Well, I saw
his heart in that moment. Is that what happened? I don't.
They're saying that it was in between beats, so it was like a 1 in 6 million chance that it was in between heartbeats and it hit in between heartbeats and threw the rhythm of his heart off. That was essentially the theory that was being like tossed around Twitter at the very least.
Chance? That sounds like that thing.
Yeah, that was the Twitter doctor. So take that like grain of salt.
Yeah,
is it that 6 million who did the boxing? Is that who you watched also?
I believe so. There was someone who did a full video on it.
Yeah, I saw that video, and apparently, if you hit a guy in the heart hard at just the right spot in the cycle, it can stop it from beating.
I saw it's mostly young people that get it. It's usually young people in baseball or hockey because the small projectile and like I guess when you become an adult, like your chest gets like thicker and like stronger, like hardier, and so like in younger guys, like getting the fucking fastball to the chest or something can cause that.
I also heard it was more common in baseball than football, which surprised me.
Yeah, because it's like all about. I mean, that made sense to me because it's all about like the point of impact.
Right.
Like, then it would make sense that the smaller thing,
well,
like a baseball's the point of impact so much smaller than like a shoulder.
I thought baseball players caught it all the time. I'm not talking about me, a swimmer, right? I get hit in the chest, but a baseball player, they get hit in the glove.
Well, but baseball, this happens to young people mostly.
Batters.
And so it's like, it's like a young guy. He's not in the MLB. Like he just is trying to catch a ball and gets like drilled in the. It's very rare, regardless.
I think Kyle might be right about the batter thing. I don't think it's drilling first base.
Yeah, you open up quite a bit of your outside where you'd be able to be hit like hit down there, around there.
They're not pitching that hard at like 16 because
they are. Some people are. At 16 they can fucking hurl it.
50, 60.
Oh, I read it was mostly like line drives that did it. In
baseball. I mean, I bet that doesn't help either. Anytime the ball's moving fast and it hits somebody, the worst thing I ever saw was me breaking my goddamn ankle like a dumbass, and then that one kid getting hit in the mouth with a fast thrown ball, and he had braces, and he just ate that shit. Blood.
When you broke your ankle, was your foot displaced? Was it all like?
No, it wasn't visually like funky at all. They diagnosed it as a sprain, and then the pain was like really excruciating that night. I woke up in ridiculous pain and went back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it is broken, huh?" Like on a second look of the fucking X-ray, like Jesus, you people are incompetent. But it sort of bent. It was my right. It's hard to remember honestly which one I broke. I don't remember which one broke. I think it was the right one because that makes the most sense. And I think the right foot turned toward the pinky, like the pinky led the way in the turn, and it turned out away from my body. Oof. The right foot turning away from your body, pinky direction.
When you were running for a base?
No, when I was sliding in, you wear steel cleats, and the cleat caught on the rubber plate, so it made my foot roll, made me roll over my foot. My foot had to stay home.
Oh, okay.
Did you
home
score?
is buried in. Yeah, I bet you did.
Not a total loss. Was it close? Was it not?
No, I didn't.
So you didn't have to.
I could have walked in backwards.
I don't even know if they were throwing. You know, like I was just gonna slide and look cool and fucking pow. I thought the way it felt. And it was
How old
so
were you?
Loud. 9th grade, I think.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. 9th grade, I think. No, 9th or 10th. It doesn't matter. But I thought there was going to be bones sticking out of my shin when I looked down because that's what it felt like. I was afraid to look because I could hear it so loud, like so loud, and that was silly. I didn't.
When I broke my leg on the motorcycle accident, it didn't hurt that much. The first couple like medical people that looked at it predicted that it wasn't broken; it was just sprained because there wasn't that much pain, but it was really obvious on the X-rays.
Yeah, it wasn't tremendous pain. It hurt, but it wasn't like overwhelming. Like, fuck. It wasn't that shit. Like I've had pain like that. Like from when I burnt my hand, it
wasn't like what?
You can't sit still. You're just like, fuck, it hurts.
I've just heard Kyle's orgasm.
Did it hurt so much that you were shaking and it hurt to touch afterwards?
Eyes were rolling back.
Yeah, I'm just imagining afterwards still because it hurts so much.
After your broken ankle, did you have like a moment of clarity where you thought about
it? Oh man, I probably should have taken the free run here and not slid.
We really need to meniscus, and that was not fun. But it was the same thing where, like, once I did it, it was very loud, and like the pop was loud. But I walked on it for like a week, and occasionally it would lock.
What'd you break?
I've torn my meniscus, my medial and my lateral. So like it would lock into place, and all of a sudden I would be standing there like polio legged, just straight fucking couldn't move it at all, or else I'd be in like immense pain. And then once it would go back to normal, I'd be like, okay, it'd be fine until I had surgery on it.
How white trash is polio?
I had a teacher that had
trash.
polio.
Yeah, imagine how white trash you have to be.
I'm pretty sure polio was all over, not just in white places.
No.
Do you have
modern
the flu?
polio?
Modern day.
Modern polio.
Like, right.
Oh, no, you don't have to worry. That white trash problem.
No, I'm talking about modern fucking polio. Look, if you know somebody today who has polio, they're white trash. I promise you.
Do you know someone with polio?
Yeah, I do. He died a couple years ago, but yeah, like he had
How
polio.
old is he?
He was my mother's age. They went to high school together, and his name was Jeff. And Jeff ended up in a wheelchair. And I remember asking one day, because he was around as I grew up, like not around us, but like you would see him in the community or whatever. And I'd be like, "Oh, you went?" My mom would be like, "I went to. Can you believe I went to school with him?" I'm like, "He's your age? He looks 15 years older." Yeah, he's my age. I'm like, "What happened to him though? Was it a car accident? Like that other lady you went to school with? Because that happened." No, polio. I'm like, what? That stuff from World War II that they came up with the vaccine that my dad's got a polio vaccine scar. I guess everybody of that age does. You can see it. I don't know if you guys have, but it's neat. Find your old people that have them. Look at them. Make them show you the scar.
People still get polio vaccines?
No, because it's eradicated. That's what I'm saying. You've got to be so dirty to get it now. I think you get it from bed.
We're so old. Where like you didn't like that guy. Where like you didn't make it past the deadline. Where it was like.
Try to find a headline. Try to find a headline about a person who just got polio. And Zach, have my back here when you show the picture. So you might have to cherry pick a little. You know what I mean? And if you never find a picture, that's okay too. But don't show no colored people with polio. Or people love, no people. No people love colored either.
I forgot.
Polio news like trash.
Dude, the UGA game that last weekend was fucking extraordinary. They were down almost the whole goddamn game, and they came back at the end.
Did you watch it?
Outscored them 18-3, I think, in the fourth quarter. Came back 41-40, I think it was, something like that. And they get the ball. Ohio gets the ball.
Right,
back.
it's the ball. Yeah.
They get the ball back, and they have a chance to kick the field goal to win, to take the lead back from away from Georgia. And this kid has to kick like a 50-yarder. It's not even close, Taylor. He hooks
I saw
so
it.
bad.
Way right.
And then they zoom in. And
dude looked like he wanted to kill himself.
Dude, that was
Felt
it.
bad
That was that kid's moment where two roads diverged right there. Like if there are multiple universes or whatever, there are two versions of that kid that kicked that fucking ball and missed it. And he's on the ride that goes left because he missed. There's another guy that makes that fucking kick, and they beat the University of Georgia #1 ranked team. They go to the national championship, and they would have beaten TCU because they don't have any business in there with them anyway. That kid's a national champion. They ride into it on his fucking kick. The draft is coming up. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys who gets that lifelong. He didn't matter what the pressure is. Oh, Dirk, he fucking kicks him in. Remember the national title, the game that got him into the title
ice in his veins.
I was there. 53 yards, and every soul in America was watching him. That would have been that guy's story. But now he's that other kid. Like I bet hopefully his life goes well.
Like the lead up to his kick. Like I watched the clip, and if I'm remembering the correct game, like they were talking before the guy went up for the kick, and they're like, this kid's fucking tremendous. Here's the past list of like he was on a run of like, and these weren't like piddling little kicks. Like he was kicking like that distance and hitting it. And so it's not like this was out of the cards for him. Like he had recently made many kicks that length. And
he
so
hooked
like
it so hard to the left.
Oh, it was like I tried to do it. Like it was so
like he had plenty of power. He had plenty of power. Like I can't kick a football at all. Like I can't throw one either. I saw this thing that the US military was designing a grenade that was shaped like the football because they knew that so many servicemen would be able to fucking throw the thing accurately.
But now we have women in the military. Yeah.
Well, now they make them out of. Never mind. Don't do that. Yeah.